when you have someone that you respect and you trust that is able to kind of be that figure for you that you didn't have as a kid, and they tell you, hey man, it's like it's okay to want to get laid. It's okay to want to date around and meet a lot of people and stuff like that. It takes away that like kind of stigma around it. So for me, it was just getting experience. It was dating, going on lots of dates, meeting lots of different kinds of women, facing a lot of rejection, of course, just kind of the whole dating experience. And I just remember like, yeah, first time I got laid, I was like 27 and it just was like, okay, we had sex, she went home and like God didn't like shoot a lightning bolt at me. I can get hit by a car by like karma for having sex with someone so it just kind of started to reprogram my mind that like this is okay. This is like nothing evil. And a lot of the fear too was like I was gonna be bad at it, right? It was fine. Like there was nothing wrong about it. So again, like what we tell guys is like get that experience, get those reps under your belt, and then over time, your brain will kind of calibrate to where you currently are in your experience. I think as well, something that really helped me was support groups. So there's recovery support groups around relationships and sex and stuff. I can't say them by name because there's like privacy kind of things like we just don't want to use the names. But if you graduated first grade, you can probably put two to two together. Like just search like relationship recovery support groups, like stuff like that, and you'll see exactly what comes up. So those are really helpful too in kind of looking at my own patterns around relationships. So I had an adoption when I was adopted when I was 3 months old. So I had a lot of wounding around women, abandonment issues. So I found too that for me, one of my patterns was that when I would meet a girl that I really liked, I got really attached. I got that one-itis very, very hard. And so a lot of my work over the last 4 years has been learning how to be less how to be less impressed with women, how to see them just as they are, take them off the pedestal, work on that neediness that I have to connect and, be, have them be my savior for, my life and stuff like that. And then just kind of realizing, yeah, like I don't need women. It's a benefit to my life. Dating's a benefit, but I'm okay without. And so that was a huge, huge help for sure.
Right, learning that yeah, you can like it's that fear of abandonment of like, oh, what happens if she leaves? And
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely have that. I had one experience in college where I was single at the time and I had this just like clear thought that like stuck with me in the morning. I was going to work and I went into the bathroom and I was just like, I'm pretty good. I'm doing all right.
Nice. Oh yeah.
And it was like I'm single and I don't have a partner I'm seeing all the time and I'm good. And I think
That's
that kind of
awesome.
stuck with me to where I didn't ever feel the need to like I don't need a relationship like you were saying.
Right.
I'm in a relationship now, but it wasn't because I needed that or I needed someone to like, be with me all the time.
What was that work for you? How did you get to that point for yourself?
I think so for me, I like that was early on and I've just had periods of having girlfriends and then also being single. Like I was single for the 2 years before my current relationship. So I was always okay with that. I definitely
Mhm.
have like a pretty strong fear of rejection.
Okay.
And that's in general. That's not even like just with cold approach. It's like if with cold approach or with like instigating something beyond that or like going for a kiss, that kind of thing. I'm like just terrified of rejection at every step. Even with
Okay.
other people, with like random people, like if I'm asking for something, there's always that like, oh fuck, I might get rejected
Mm,
on this ask. So I think for me it's been a lot of that work.
okay.
And I actually really like what you said about experience because I think so many of us want to like go to a workshop and then have a transformation and then we're fixed.
Mm,
Everything's back to
yep.
perfect. I was listening to
Tony
a pod.
Robbins method.
Yeah, I was listening
Let's
to
get
a,
hyped for 3 days and then
and then
it'll be
have like
good.
2 days where your life has changed and then everything goes
Yeah.
back. I was listening to a podcast yesterday and he was talking about how we have these expectations for emotional change to occur like instantly when these
Okay.
things take so long for us to learn. Like they just take a while. And
Yes.
I think getting experience and giving yourself the patience and just accepting like these things will change in me, but I need to just
Mhm.
wait a little bit. It's going to take some time. It's going to take experience. I have to emotionally learn this thing again.
Totally, man. And in today's world where there's so much instant gratification, I think that's makes it as another layer of challenge where people want to get that fix really quick.
Mhm.
And it's funny when you look back, it's like, okay, I've been really working on my dating for 4 years, which is really not a lot of time. That's like what from ages like 8 to 12 in terms of like, so if you look back, like, oh, from 8 to 12, like that was like that happened in a flash, right? So I think long term, when we look back on our lives, we'll be like, okay, like, I spent 6, 7 years working on myself really deeply. That was nothing. But in
Yeah.
the moment, it feels really intense and like it's never going to end. So I think, yeah, not giving up and just being persistent is a secret to success in today's day and age.
Yeah, those for sure. And then when you compare it to the rest of your life, like you were saying, like if you're in your head right now, you're like, okay, it's going to take me 4 years to get my shit together and learn how to date women and find a good partner for the rest of my life. Okay, now you have 50, 60 years where that's going to pay dividends.
Oh, yes.
Like
I love
spending
that.
those
Yeah.
couple of years is going to, now you're in a state where you're able to do whatever you need to do and connect with someone deeper, and you
Yes.
get that for the rest of your life.